To be an enemy of the United States is dangerous, but to be its ally can be fatal. This famous quote by former American diplomat and political scientist Henry Kissinger is playing out in dramatic fashion in today's Germany. The largest economy in Europe and the industrial backbone of the EU is now on the brink of collapse. But as always, the mainstream Western media has either ignored or misrepresented the root causes of this crisis. Earlier this year, Germany's economic minister, Robert Habeck, candidly admitted that the country's economy is performing dramatically bad. When a German official uses language this strong, it signals something far worse than just a temporary slump. The truth is undeniable. Germany is in crisis. In fact, Germany's economy shrank by 0.3% last year, making it the worst-performing major economy globally, and the prospects for recovery are grim. Many had pinned their hopes on 2024, expecting the country to bounce back, but these dreams have already been dashed. Initially, the government forecasted modest growth of 1.3% for 2024. In a shocking downgrade, this has now been slashed to just 0.2%, leaving economists and citizens alike disheartened. But this is no ordinary downturn. What we're witnessing in Germany today isn't just a short-term recession. It's a long-term unraveling of the very economic model that made the country a global powerhouse. Think about it. Nearly two-thirds of German companies have already shifted at least part of their operations abroad. They cite rising energy costs, excessive regulation, and political paralysis as reasons. So who is responsible for this catastrophic collapse? Is it just bad luck, or is something far more deliberate at play? The reality is unsettling. Germany's decline is not just a consequence of global events, but also a direct result of American exploitation, compounded by Germany's own short-sightedness. In today's video, I'll take you behind the headlines to reveal the true causes of Germany's economic woes, how the United States has exploited its closest ally, and how Germany itself is complicit in its own downfall. Stick around until the end, because I'll also explain how Germany continues to shoot itself in the foot, and why the Western media will never admit the full truth. Germany's economic freefall. 3 core issues. At the heart of Germany's decline are 3 interconnected challenges: the explosion of energy prices, falling exports to China, and the rise in military spending. What makes these challenges especially noteworthy is their common denominator: U.S. influence. Some may call this a conspiracy theory, but let's be clear, I'm not here to make baseless claims. What I'll present to you today are well-documented facts that show how American policies have directly contributed to Germany's decline. Falling exports to China, a trade relationship under siege. For decades, Germany was an export powerhouse, renowned for high-quality products like motor vehicles, precision machinery, and advanced chemicals. Trade has always been the lifeblood of the German economy, and among its partners, China stands out. For 8 consecutive years, China has been Germany's largest trading partner, serving as a key destination for its exports. However, this vital economic relationship is now under threat, primarily due to pressure from the United States. Let's take 2 flagship German companies as examples: BASF and Volkswagen. Both firms have faced intense scrutiny and coercion from American policymakers over their operations in China. BASF, one of the world's largest chemical companies, has been a target of accusations from Western political groups. They claim BASF is complicit in human rights abuses in China's Xinjiang region, where the U.S. alleges widespread use of forced labor against Uyghur Muslims. Yet despite conducting independent audits that found no evidence of wrongdoing, BASF was forced to curtail its activities in Xinjiang. The pressure came not just from Washington, but from groups like the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, IPAC, which has ties to U.S. intelligence agencies and funding from organizations like the National Endowment for Democracy, NED. Similarly, Volkswagen has faced a relentless campaign accusing the company of complicity in human rights abuses. Like BASF, Volkswagen's own investigations revealed no evidence of forced labor, but the pressure is mounting, with calls for the automaker to shut down its Xinjiang operations entirely. These aren't isolated incidents. Porsche, Audi, and Bentley have also been caught up in the US-led crackdown, with shipments of vehicles seized under suspicion of containing parts sourced from Xinjiang. Such actions disrupt supply chains, damage German businesses, and weaken Germany's economic resilience, all while serving US geopolitical interests. Energy crisis, the cost of sanctions. The second major blow to Germany's economy has been the explosion in energy prices, largely a result of the Russia-Ukraine war and subsequent Western sanctions. Germany, once heavily reliant on cheap Russian natural gas, saw its energy landscape turn upside down after the Nord Stream pipelines were sabotaged, a move that remains shrouded in mystery, but undeniably served US strategic goals. Before the war, Russia supplied 55% of Germany's natural gas. This affordable energy was a cornerstone of Germany's industrial dominance. But following the imposition of sanctions on Russia, gas prices skyrocketed tenfold at one point, with devastating consequences for German households and industries. Though prices have stabilized somewhat since their 2022 peak, they remain double their pre-war levels. The high cost of energy is now a millstone around Germany's neck, forcing businesses to either absorb the losses or relocate production to cheaper regions. Industries such as automotive manufacturing and mechanical engineering, once the pride of Germany, are among the hardest hit. Adding insult to injury, Germany has been forced to turn to the United States for liquefied natural gas, or LNG. But this LNG comes at a steep price, with German officials openly accusing the US of profiteering. Yet, despite these frustrations, Germany continues to follow Washington's lead, even as its own economy crumbles under the weight of these decisions. The military spending dilemma. The final piece of Germany's economic puzzle is its growing military expenditure. Over the past decade, Germany has dramatically increased its defense budget, largely at the insistence of the United States. NATO commitments and pressure from American leaders, including former President Trump, have pushed Germany to divert resources from critical sectors like infrastructure and renewable energy toward military spending. While Germany's increased military investments may please Washington, they've done little to help its economy. A recent report from Greenpeace highlights how these funds could have been better spent on projects with long-term economic benefits, such as green energy development or modernizing Germany's crumbling infrastructure. The U.S. role in Germany's decline. Ultimately, the United States has played a central role in Germany's economic troubles, whether through pressuring German companies to withdraw from China, exploiting Europe's energy crisis, or imposing unsustainable military spending obligations. Washington has consistently prioritized its own interests at Germany's expense. But Germany is not blameless in this story. Its leaders have willingly followed American directives, often to the detriment of their own citizens and industries. The result is a perfect storm of external pressure and internal mismanagement, a crisis that threatens to reshape the future of Germany and, by extension, the European Union. These are the kinds of truths the Western media refuses to confront, but they're crucial for understanding the geopolitical dynamics shaping our world. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the U.S. bears responsibility for Germany's economic decline, or is it a case of Germany mismanaging its own affairs? I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video.